up next, the Ron and Isabel Summers story, 50 Years of Wedded Bliss, or something else. You decide on Inside Edition. A long time ago in the small town of Pearson, Manitoba, there lived a little princess named Isabel Durwood.
Will you be mine, my darling dear?
She was a very clean little pixie with hair that was the envy of the neighborhood.
Awful in love with you.
This curly-haired future vixen was the pride of Annabelle and Charlie.
Earth angel, earth angel.
Looking innocent enough on her first day of school, and as shown here in disguise with her bagpipe-toting brother Ronnie, the world was completely fooled by the facade put forward by this young lady.
In love with you.
A sword-wielding dervish, Isabel learned her craft on the wrong side of town.
And I knew
Her classmates in middle school preferred to keep her in the front row where they could watch her. In high school, her teachers knew to keep her close by. Isabel was part of the Pearson Pumpkin Plucker gang, which kept the southwest corner of Manitoba in terror each fall. Oh yes, she still pretended to be the all-Canadian girl, but something was fishy in her quiet little town. Those neighbors who weren't afraid to talk indicated that, although she appeared to be happy and outgoing,
I'm just a
the floodgates would open whenever the cameras were off.
with you.
Her friends also knew better, and upon closer examination, the picture was a lot different.
I fell for you, and I knew
Next for Isabel came the running around town with a different man every night, followed by a modeling career in bathing suits, then cartoon helicopter sales,
that someday
then back to bathing suits. Little did she know her life was about to take a dramatic left turn.
Earth angel, earth
This earliest known picture of little Ronnie Summers shows his long-term penchant for mustaches. Ron was an angelic boy growing up in tiny Erskine, Alberta. He was the Southern Alberta Marbles champ with his trademark tongue indicating heavy concentration. With the Summers family growing ever larger, Ronnie soon had to share his room with his younger brother. Even in high school, Big Ron, as he now wanted to be called, was described by all the girls as their ultimate dreamboat date. Shortly after high school, Big Ron was crowned heavyweight champion of Erskine, and soon after won a few bodybuilding contests. He played a little ball for the Minneapolis Twins, and was cover boy for Slugger magazine. But something was missing in Big Ron's life. So Ron and a couple of close friends packed up and moved to the metropolis of Pearson to work the oil rigs, drive the big equipment, and dive in the Pearson Ocean. He was the happiest man in camp, the hardest working, and followed everywhere by his favorite dog, Billy. Flash ahead to late August 1955, to Ron and 3 of his friends at his bachelor party. 2 weeks after meeting her, the naive, innocent Ronald was getting married to Pearson's siren, Isabel. Ron's eyes could never leave the shotgun-toting Charles Durwood. Oh, the photographs made all the society pages in Western Canada. Now Isabel had completed step one of her dastardly plan. Hand in hand, the Summers gang would soon be terrorizing the West. But that's getting ahead of the story. For now, all appearances, this highfalutin society couple were being whisked away on their jet-set honeymoon. But troubles soon lie ahead. Isabel next coerced the all-Canadian boy Ronnie into the exciting life of crime. To protect their true identities, they were soon known far and wide as the Bonnie and Clyde gang. Their targets, small-town banks. Shown here plotting their next hold-up, the young couple enlisted criminal support from the whole family. Early on, Ron would case the banks by fitting in with the local talent. Later on, as they became wider known, the family again was enlisted to help with disguises. No, unfortunately, this was not a disguise. Notice on the right the disguised Isabel with the last known picture of Ron's dog Billy. Isabel's BJ soon replaced the missing Billy. With disguises like these, it was no wonder the authorities could not track the chameleon-like disguises as this couple continued to blend into the background. Isabel decided their crime spree days were over when the authorities closed in with only their true names unknown for now. When Isabel noticed that Ron had fallen so low as to now be seen partying with his mother-in-law, she decided it was time to settle down and start a family. Ron was put out to stud and told he was raising a family in Pearson.
Lucy, home.
Somehow, between Ron's shyness and Isabel's aggressiveness, they were able to start a family. Much to little Debbie's chagrin, her reign as only child lasted less than 1 year. Here's Mother Isabel plotting Deb and Yvonne's future lives of crime. Here's doting Father Ron thinking only pleasant thoughts. After Yvonne, the family expands to include Gordon, named after Flash Gordon, Ron's favorite hero. Kind of a theme, these 50th wedding anniversaries. Newest family member Jim. He doesn't know he was adopted. In this family, girls wear flower pots and boys get beaner haircuts. Ron's coffee bar was really a front for the largest speakeasy on the prairies. Here's the entertainment and the muscle for Ron's coffee bar. Isabel continued to push people around. Family trips in the country were covers for illegal rum runs. Ron always had to control Isabel's old sword-wielding ways. Times were good, and Angel Food Cake was even better. As the hunt for Bonnie and Clyde had all but died down, the family was able to travel further afield. Things were not all they seemed in the 70s. Oh, Isabel was still Isabel, forcing family members into hard labor. Sister Muriel tried to pull free, but Isabel kept a firm puppeteer grip on her strings. Even Isabel's mom and dad, Charles and Annabelle, were forced into these labor parties. Ron did his very best to try to continue the facade of a happy family in Pearson. After a hard day in Ron's cafe, Ron had to secure a second job as Pearson's ambulance driver, and a third job as a bus driver. Before going insane, however, he had to quit that job and take a new third job as Pearson's town cop. All of this to support his socialite wife, Isabel. Pearson soon grew tired of Isabel's antics, and Ron had to quit his 3 jobs and move the family to Pine Falls, working for the Bay. Ron soon took up the manly hobby of flower arranging. Isabel continued to be waited on hand and foot. That is, when she wasn't outside terrorizing the neighborhood with her skateboarding antics. The evil gene was passed down to daughter Debbie, but that's a whole nother story. By now the family had had to move to Pinawa, which then included more of the society pictures. Family reunions. Larger family reunions. First granddaughter Alicia. Andy tells us the evil gene is alive and well. New Grandpa Ron tried his best to shield Alicia from a life of crime. But the evil matriarch Isabel dug her claws in deep. Ron escaped by drinking rum toddies in July beside the year-round Christmas tree. A new son-in-law tried to keep as far away as possible from Isabel's criminal influences. But the couple soon had to again flee, leaving Pine Falls to escape a pending morals charge. It's the 80s and we're detecting a pattern here. Pearson, Pine Falls, Pinawa. By the way, a lesson to people, never put your picture on a web page. It could wind up anywhere. Pinawa's motto, we may glow in the dark, but take a look at our sundial. At Ron and Isabel's 25th wedding anniversary, notice that Ron still has to control Isabel's attraction towards sharp knives. The couple still had dreams of their next heist. Ron's dog BJ, for Billy Jr., faithfully guarded the munchies from Isabel. The family kept growing with grandchild number 2, Christopher. Ron sang lead in the punk rock duet, The Dog Days of Summers. The public family photos belied the reality of Isabel's nightly rum binges. Here's Isabel demanding a Mickey of rum from Santa before the grandchildren could get their gifts. Here's a picture taken of the 1980s Summers game. Here's how Isabel viewed this same picture. Occasionally, when Isabel was babysitting her grandchildren, she would leave them under this sign for hours, so when she passed them on her way home from the Legion, she would know they were hers. Isabel continued to be attracted to younger men, while young women kept throwing themselves at the handsome, shy Ron. Here's Chris's reaction after Isabel stole his birthday present for herself. The Summers ladies always were happiest after heavy drinking and target practice. More birthdays, more fighting over control of the knives. This picture shows the continuing corruption of the Summers clan by Isabel's Durwood clan. Everyone's looking at the camera except Isabel, who spotted the rum punch. After being kicked out of Pinawa for contributing to the delinquency of a duck, the Summers gang had to split up, with Ron and Isabel moving through Geraldton to Red Lake, Nakina, Sandy Lake, Fort Severn, Pickle Lake, motto, you think you're in a pickle, Kasashawan, Iqaluit, as Manitoba was just getting too hot for them. Isabel always insisted that Ron teach Christopher the art of gambling, while Isabel stood guard and threatened to punch anyone in her way. Ron was kept barefoot and in the kitchen. Eva and Pete were blissfully unaware of the true depth of Isabel's depravity. The rest of the world only saw the happy facade. And the 80s come to a close, much like the 70s, with Ron drinking rum toddies in July by the Christmas tree.